Today I thought it would be a nice idea for us all to become more aware of our emotional triggers. What are emotional triggers? In the past, you may have suffered a major trauma or a multitude of minor traumas that has taught your brain to signal your stress response to alert you to potential dangers. These perceived dangers come in many forms and are sensed by the brain through your sensory system. So this can be sight, smell, sound, touch and taste. For example, and I'm going to be graphic here, if you were raped in an alleyway during a night out, it's likely that your brain during this trauma was hypervigilant to many parts of that terrifying scene. And it would have stored trauma memories, albeit fragmented, which are likely to haunt you later down the line in the form of flashbacks about, for instance, the wall in front of you, sight, the feel of intrusive hands, touch, the tone of voice, sound, the smell of the person's fragrance, smell, and possibly the taste of tobacco on their lips, taste. And all these memories are stored haphazardly in the brain because at the time of the attack, the brain had to process so much and your stress response was activated so strongly at the time and also during the following sleep cycles where memory consolidation actually happens, that the memories of that incident were not processed in the usual fashion. This is a typical response to trauma, including prolonged trauma such as sexual abuse or domestic violence, whereby the brain stores these stressful memories. So what does that mean? It means that your brain has been wired to turn on the bat signal, the stress response, each and every time you see that alleyway or an alleyway that's similar. Every time you feel similar hands on you, every time you taste the same tobacco taste or possibly smell tobacco, every time you smell the same fragrance. And these are triggers. The smells, the tastes, the touches, what you see, what you hear, these triggers trigger the stress response and it makes you feel like the abuse is happening all over again. And this is likely to continue often years after you have escaped the trauma, whether that be years after that horrific night in the alleyway, or when you're no longer a child and have cut ties with your abusers, or you've left your abusive partner. See, the brain's priority is to ensure we survive, and it wouldn't be doing its job properly if it didn't alert us to potential dangers learned through past experiences. However, years after the trauma, when your life has changed, when you are no longer in immediate danger, fearing every alleyway in the world, fearing a fragrance, fearing the hands of your new loving partner, and fearing the taste of tobacco, although it could be argued that this is actually a healthy fear, fearing a voice playing only in your head, is not only causing a huge amount of unnecessary stress on your body, but it's also, if we rationalise it, quite irrational. And I say this with absolute compassion and empathy. I too have a multitude of triggers and I am not taking away the magnitude of your trauma in any way, shape or form when I say that. But being triggered all the time is not how we should be living. It strips us from peace. It feeds the habitual pattern of hypervigilance and it causes us to avoid things that could make us truly connected to people and place. And triggers can become stronger the longer we ignore them. Over time, our memories restructure themselves and time allows trigger responses to seep deep into our identity. So, oh, I'm just jumpy. And the direction of our thoughts, oh, I'm just temperamental. Our behaviours, oh, I just don't like going out on a Friday night. And our thoughts, so like never trust anyone. So I truly feel that if you are a person who has been through trauma or a person who is consistently anxious and emotionally charged, it's important to take time to notice what, where and who triggers your stress response. By acknowledging our stresses, we can then begin to start to investigate how we retrain our brain so that we become less emotionally charged in these moments in time. And if this video resonates with you strongly, you may need to seek help from a psychotherapist to work through these issues. Eye movement desensitization reprogramming, EMDR, can help to reduce the emotional charge of traumatic memory. Clinical hypnotherapy can facilitate habit change through brain plasticity, and cognitive behavioural therapy, CBT, can help to locate thoughts, feelings and behaviours and begin to challenge whether they remain relevant in your present existence and how maladaptive they are.